Back on Morning Mover, shares of Alphabet falling in the pre-market after the Department of Justice reiterated its request to break up Google. The DOJ did drop its request that Google be forced to sell off its stakes in AI companies, including Anthropic, to promote online search competition. Google says it plans to appeal the decision. With that, time now for Options Corner. Joining us to take a deeper look at Alphabet, we've got Rick Ducat, lead market technician here on Schwab Network. All right, Rick, what trends are you seeing when it comes to the chart for Alphabet? It looks like it's had a difficult year so far.
Notable slide recently where we've fallen about 16% or so as of Friday's close off of these highs that we established near 207. So kind of a disappointment recently. However, we did hold on above this low point here and this series of lows. We had a supportive area near 161 to 164 or so. We also are at the moment hanging on right around our purple 250 two-day exponential moving average. It looks like in the pre-market trading we are moving slightly below that level. Could be an important point to watch in today's trading, Diane.
And then what about any recent notable options activity? What have you seen when it comes to that?
Sure. In terms of option activity, March, the March monthlies, March 21st, our highest open interest activity month. Also, June and January monthlies show very high open interest here. But on the call side, 180 to 220, with the standout strikes being 200, 210, and 185. On the put side, less activity overall. 150 to 185 was the general range here, with the top areas of interest being 180, 150, and 170. One notable trade I saw, biggest single trade in terms of dollar amount, a trader bought $3.6 million of January 16th 175 strike puts, a bearish opening trade looking for a 10% drop in shares.
All right, thanks a ton. That was Rick Ducat with the recent options activity in Alphabet and the chart. Time now to take us through an example trade. We've got Tom White, senior options contributor, co-host of Fast Market. All right, Tom, how would you structure an example trade for Alphabet, especially in the context of this news from DOJ?
Well, I think you got to be a little bit more conservative on this one. Implied volatility levels are really elevated right now. We got the CBOE's VIX back above the 26 level as we've seen that pullback in Google Alphabet. Still up about 30% from year ago levels, but getting close to bear market territory just below the 200-day moving average also. So it's, as Rick mentioned, it's pulled back from those highs, but we've got expanding option premiums due to that higher implied volatility. So I looked at a strategy that gives me a cushion to the downside, but you're still taking a bullish to neutral stance here. And I went out to the April 4th weekly cycle. So I've got 25 days to expiration. They don't report earnings until the end of April. So I'm going to avoid that event. But going out to the April 4th weekly options that expire in 25 days, we're going to sell a cash secured put, and this is that neutral to bullish stance. It's a twofold type of trade. You want to collect higher option premium. You want to give yourself a cushion, but also you got to be comfortable owning the shares if the stock continues to fall below the strike that you sell. I looked at selling the out of the money 165 strike, $5 below where the stock's currently trading in the pre-market, just below 170. A share. You're collecting roughly a credit of about $3.50. That's what you can make on this trade, $350. But you've got a cushion to that break even of 161.50 of about 5% below the current share price. So, you can profit in 3 out of 4 scenarios on this one. If it goes higher, stays where it is, goes lower, but remains above that 161.50, which is 5% below the current share price in there in the pre-market. But like I said, this is one of those strategies. Hey, if it does continue to fall below 165, I'm comfortable owning the shares, depending on how many contracts you sell, at the 161.50 level. Your break even on this one. So this might be the way that you look at it, where you have those expanding option premiums and you get to collect more on this type of trade.
All right, that's an example trade for Alphabet with a neutral to bullish tone. Thanks a ton for that, Tom.